And we're back live on Friday night. Don't forget to hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, I appreciate you. All my day oneers. We'll get into the formalities. You know how we do. We'll get into all the formalities. Don't forget the chat. Don't forget the chat. I'll get the chat up right now, gente. I appreciate you guys. It's Friday night. There's lots to talk about. There's always too much to talk about. So I appreciate you spending your Friday right here, unos minutitos. If you're listening to it live, you know what to do. If you're listening to it on the replay, también ya sabes, hit that like, drop a comment, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed over to the canal. You know, we just added the Sunday night show, so now we're on miércoles, viernes, domingo. All right, let me get this chat up for you. There it is right there. Big Puppet's the first one in. I see you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, man. How's the family, cabron? I know they're good. I follow you on IG, cabron. I know they're good. Talk about a story right there. First comment in the comment section. Right there. That's an interview. That's an interview we got to have coming down the line. Let me get this chat up right here. All the way back to, híjole, cabron, early 90s. A lot of people make videos of the Chinatown area and all that. We were right there on Soledad Street, down the street, up the little underpass. There it is. Okay, perfect. And so I appreciate you. So let's go to the formalities. You know what we do. Gracias to all the day oneers. Get the formalities. Get them out of the way. That way we can get into the plática. Ain't no one come here for no cotorreo. Just good plática. So let's get the formalities out of the way. The day oneers that are in the comments section. Gracias all the day oneers. All the members only. All the members only. The members only, the backbone of the community. If you want to join the members only, there's a blue button. It's from any laptop, from any phone, or whatever you want to do. It's a little blue button. So, again, we're going through the formalities, gente. The blue button, if that's what you want to join. Those are like the raw, the 1990 stories, and all those kind of things right there are definitely in the members only. So, I'll leave those over there. Cultura Cafes in the Casa, I appreciate you. Let's go ahead and get into it. The formalities, so they're all done. Let's go ahead and get into it because it's been a good week. If you didn't tap in on Wednesday night, that live is up. That live is up right now. It's the one on Wednesday night. I had the homie hangout. The homie hangout was in the house on Wednesday night. And I'll tell you, I want to know if am I the only one that cracks up? Is the sarcasm? I think it's just me. I think it's just me, man. But anyways, shout out to the homie hangout. Rascal Reacts is the other channel that he got on there. You'll be seeing him come on Chicano Tube more times. There was great feedback on that interview. So just a reminder that one is up. So if you want to go back and listen to it, it is up there. He was over there. We ran into each other over there in Reno, matter of fact. If you didn't look, he's a tall one. I think I was looking up to him. So I probably didn't ask him that, but Raskizi, he's like 6'3". He might be 6'4". He might even be 6'4". But anyways, he saw me over there. We were in Reno. And then when we're chilling, getting ready to do something, a little collaboration, right? Las Tias pulled up. So, of course, I always got to give shout out to the Tias, right? Shout out to the Tias. And so, because I told him, I said, in Mexican culture, if I didn't go and give a shout out to the Tias, cabrón, que me van a decir que soy sangrón, que soy esto, que soy algo más. And so, shout out to all the tias that are out there, all the tias over there. Tia Rachel, Tia Mari, Tia Neka, all the tias right there. But I had to get up. I told Raskizi, he goes, oh, I know. I said Mexican culture. So anyways, shout out to that interview is up. If you want to go and trip out on that interview, it's already up on the channel. It's right there. It's this last Wednesday, barely this Wednesday. All right, so let's go ahead and kick it off with some news, man. Si se puede podcast is in the casa. What's good, man? I'm right here. It's Friday night. Let's get some good plática in. So there was a tiroteo. It was a shooting that occurred. You heard about it. It came all over the news. I'm not just getting to it. That's why I say I want to add more shows. That way we could talk about it a whole lot more. The tiroteo that happened in Orange County. So it happened at a bar. And basically what it was, the 59-year-old gentleman, and he was an ex-retired sergeant from the Ventura Police Department. That's who this guy was. And this bar just wasn't no dive bar. Any ordinary dive bar. Hold on, let me send a text real quick. Okay. It wasn't no dive bar. This was one of those restaurants that people went to but it had the name bar inside the title, right? So it said this ex-sergeant, retired Ventura Police Department, okay, retired sergeant. He went over there, his estranged wife, estranged. You got to catch the key words. Key words mean something, right? Estranged. What does the word estranged mean? The word estranged means they weren't living together. They were still legally married, but weren't living together. Okay? It's okay. Weren't living together. Saludos, Mikey. That's right, homie. Hangouts in the casa. And it was her, and she was having dinner with a friend. Well, this is a tragedy. They weren't the only victims. There was multiple victims as this ex-retired pinche sergeant went in there and he took multiple lives. It was even titled when it came out for the news publications, mass shooting. Okay. Well, I mean, calmados. It is a different time. It's 2023. You know what I mean? When you use those kind of words, to me, come on. It seems like even though any life lost is a tragedy, that was my pretense. I prefaced it by saying it was a tragedy. But when you say mass, you start thinking of you're going to scare people and start thinking they're baseball stadiums or just out in parking lots like the movie Heat. Remember the movie Heat? Like the movie Heat. And that's not what it was, but there was multiple lives lost and they got him. And the dinner companion and the rest of the friends. And man, that broke my heart. It was here close to home. I mean, a couple hours, but still, it's OC, it's Califas, right? And that's crazy. I'm going to be completely honest with you, man. You know what it made me think of? I'm going to be real with the gente. It made me think of an IG video that I saw, right? An IG video that I saw that on the IG video. I can't look real quick. Hold on a second, guys. Let me reset this thing. There it is. Okay. It reminded me of an IG video that I saw. Man, it was like an Oriental couple, right? They were young, getting married. And here's the Oriental dad, the Asian dad, right? He walked up to the guy and he told him, and I was like, damn, me pegó aquí, cabrones, me pegó aquí. He was saying, if ever the day comes that you fall out of love with my daughter, please don't hurt her. Just return her to me. And I was like, whoa, that's the kind of realness you don't see really on social media, right? Social media is people's best highlights, mostly, not all of them. I love it because I could reach out to cousins in Mexico. I love the connection that social media does. I mean, this country, I'm in that country, talking to relatives. I love all that. But of course, it's become a little bit of what we used to call in the 90s high-siding. High-siding. All my 90s gente know what high-siding is. Orale, homie, hangout. That's right. My brother Tim Hennessy's in the casa. That's right. Disco, el super visto. Orale, we're just talking about it. Fumes in the casa. Disol. Cave. Orale. That shooting. And so I saw that IG video and I was like, damn, I'm gonna steal his lines. I'm gonna have to take this dude's lines and be like, you know what? If the day ever comes, but God forbid, all I can do is pray for my daughter. Speaking of that, right before I came over here, I went to go pick up the baby girl, my baby daughter, right? At a dance, right? And all of a sudden, I'm parked down the thing, and all of a sudden she walks out of the gate, y ahí está con un chavalo. And immediately I started thinking, nah, pues, you're already getting middle-aged, cabrón. Cálmate. Yeah, back in the day with shotguns and rifles and my daughters, and let's be realistic now, okay? That was old thinking. New thinking makes me want to slow shit down. Slow it down. I'm like, damn, You know, the kids are going to have families, or I don't know, all kinds of... I put on my glasses, to be honest, and I played it off like I didn't even see. I'm like that. Like, I'm not trying to be, you know. And I always say, hey, you know, leave that to mom. Ask mom or something like that. And the kid looked like, you know who he looked like? He looked like that fool Spike on, remember, I think, shout out to Hater World. Hater World did a video, maybe 5 or 6. He posted a lot, ese cabrón, 7, 8, 9 ago. And there was a guy, his name was that fool Spike. That fool Spike, right? And on that one, I think I looked him up real quick because I was like, no sé, I didn't really know who that fool Spike was, right? And so I think he's a tattoo artist because he has a tattoo IG. So at least for one, I think he's a tattoo artist. Is he a rapper too? I don't know. But the whole, well, anyways, the chavalito reminded me of that fool Spike, but no tacas. Okay, cálmanse. Okay, and the guy wasn't all sleeved up and shit like that. And, of course, now they had the longer hair, which is like curly, hanging a little bit down or whatever, right? That's what it is. But that made me feel middle-aged. I just want everything to slow down, man. But anyways, let's talk about that one real quick. That fool Spike. He came out on the Hater World. Now, again, I looked him up. He's Salvadoran and he's Mexican. So that fool Spike is 50-50. He's Salvadoran and he's Mexican, right? Tattoo artist, YouTuber. Now, I did look up his YouTube. And when I looked up his YouTube, the majority of the videos he had were gaming videos. So, jugando maquinitas, or that's how we called them, maquinitas. You don't remember that one, huh? And ghost story videos. So he has that's his thing. I'm just saying, that's his thing. Boom. Ghost story videos and gaming videos. He's all up in the console and something like that, right? But he said in the video something that I'll leave it up to the people's court. I'll leave it up to the gente. I'll leave it up to Chicano Tube. And let's talk about it right here. What do the people think about Spike? That fool Spike that came out on the Haters World. The Hater World. Am I saying it right? And said, we don't really have to speak Spanish. The raza, Chicanos, the gente, we don't really have to because we're in the United States of America. What do the people think about that? He said, we're in the U.S. Now, he speaks decent Spanish because one of course, he came out on, shout out to the food community. Shout out to the food community. That food Spike was on the food community. He was sitting right there. He's getting blasted on and stuff like that. He's getting ink on him. Bzzz. The guy was shooting ink on him. Chinga. Hijo de su madre, man. I'm going up for session number 3 coming up next week. I got to hit Mex first, you guys. I'm going to be in Mexico. And then as soon as I get back from Mex, I'm going to go for session number 3. And we just got to start going and going and going. Anyways, so what do the gente think? What does the gente think? Lose the language? Is the gente going to be, are you and I going to be the generation that our kids lose the language because we said, yeah, we spoke it first? This is what Spike said. He spoke it first. That was his first language. His first language was speaking Spanish and then the English, and then it came predominantly English. And he's browner than me. He's browner than me. I have friends browner than me. I remember Pops used to get mad. He used to get mad. Chicago Dumbs in the casa. Órale. My Pops used to get mad, and he used to go up to my friends and be like, hey, ¿cómo estás? Da, 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 da. My Pops, right? And I would tell my pa, él no habla español. ¿Cómo? And my dad would get mad. ¿Cómo no? La otra semana me habló así, así. I said, no. You got it twisted. I said, él no habla español. That was my first language. But I'll tell you what, if that mentality prevails, our generation is the generation that lost the language. And I feel as pushing what this banner says right here, cultura, the last thing, Dios familia, by pushing that, identity keeps moving on. No matter what identity, Russian, German, you know what I mean? We know a German, right? He was some of you guys' favorite YouTuber. He's German. Okay, gotcha. That reminds me of the homie hangout right here. He came out. Go and watch that live. All right, we just did it on this Wednesday, and I thought it was just me, Raskizi. If you're still in the casa, dispensa, I thought it was just me. I was like, man, the sarcasm, like it was. It was solid gold, man. It was solid gold. So shout out to him. That's right. El Farmero Santo 500 is in the casa. And I owe you that wrench, cabron. Are you wrenched up? I don't have the phone line open right now, so don't call yet. Don't call yet. Let me just take care of my brother real quick. There it is. Anyways, yeah. Okay, now I'll plug it in, all right? Now you guys can call if you want to talk about no sabo kids. Should no sabo kids be the generation? I don't have the phone line open right now. All right, clear the apps. Should the no sabo generation lose it? I don't know. But anyways, I was telling you because my daughter was right there and se pareció el güey como that fool Spike. Anyway, let's get back to it. Keep it pushing. Shout out to everyone in the comments section. They still got the S-Bone investigation is still underway. That happened out of Sacramento County. Orale, Chapo, I see you. I send mine. Mr. Formalities, and we got him out of the way to the casa. Boom, the formalities. We did acknowledgments. You know what I mean? You missed it, cabron. You're on roll call, though. Don't worry. You're on roll call. I heard your name. That's right, man. I appreciate this super chat, making it rain. That's my brother right there. I appreciate you. I send mines right over to you, carnal. I send mines. Super chat in the house, man. I appreciate you. Hold on, let me see. One more thing. That's right. Just chilling 05. That's what he's doing on a Friday night. He's just chilling, listening to the plática. Órale. All right, where was I at? Here it is. Okay, the S-Bone investigation is still underway. Again, you guys, it's a tragedy. What the way the attention? How did attention get drawn to the individual? Again, it has to do with cabrones that we've been trying to warn. We've been trying to tell them, cabron, this is not a cliff that you guys want to hang on when you're gonna back up someone on Megan's Law. Someone that's an offender, someone that's registered. I don't care what anyone says, period. I looked it up myself. I did a video. I don't know if I still had it up. I went through my catalog. I really thinned it out because I believe the content that we're making from here is really beneficial to the gente. Of course, we talk about a lot of things, man. Hit that like. We cover YouTube. We cover the world. We cover hip-hop news, politics. Not a lot of hip-hop news, but I did cover the money sign Suede thing, because I was able to get some inside info, because, of course, I'm in Monterey County, and I know brass and people in Salinas Valley and a CTF. I know brass. I know executives just from doing business. Of course, that makes sense to you guys. And so I did do one, and, of course, he's being a Chicano. And that's one of my principal messages on here, on ChicanoTube, is trying to help the youngsters focus on getting ahead in life and less of that, bringing adversity and inviting that into your life. Because there's nothing glorious about that. I'll tell you straight up. Indica Delusion, I see you, my boy. Ron Garcia, Cubula, I send mines. Did you hear about the hitchhiker? That's right, just chilling, my boy. Just chilling. My boy, just chilling. Did you hear about that? That's right, I appreciate you. That hiker. She was a 37-year-old mother of 5 hiking out there like in Maryland. She disappeared. And they found her body. Her name was, rest in peace, her name was Rachel Morin. 37-year-old mother of 5, hiking out there in Maryland. She went missing. Her boyfriend, which was one of the principal people, I don't want to say suspects, but of course they have to do their due diligence, gente. It's just the law, you know what I mean? They got to do their due diligence, and anyone that was a witness, heard of, they start investigating the whole picture. They want to see the whole painting, the whole canvas, right? Of course, they talked to the boyfriend. She went missing. They ended up finding her body. Just off the trail. Completely devastated. And that wasn't the breaking news. That didn't just happen today. That's why I don't like to just to jump on the first thing, that gets reported, because the more information that gets put out, of course, the more accurate it is. Ain't trying to be the Ian Rappaport. I ain't trying to be the Adam Schefter of YouTube and break it first. Adam Schefter reports, and maybe we'll talk about some NFL. You guys are you don't even know how much of an NFL junkie I am, but we could talk about some NFL, but a little bit later. But again, I'm not trying to be the Adam Schefter or the Ian Rappaport. That's right, my boy. FUM 209 members in the casa. Let's go, raza. Send mines in full to Mr. and Mrs. Diaz. Well, we send ours right back to you. And I'm subscribed over to the channel, cabron. I'm subscribed. Let me know. I was talking to Chicago Dumb today. I said, how about a late night? You know what I mean? We'll do a late night once a month or once every couple weeks, something like that. And then we could have people on there. And we'll do it through the yard. We'll do it through StreamYard. That way we could have multiple guests. But anyways, that's one of my day oneers and members. Appreciate you. Mother of 5 missing. So the suspect they're looking for, and this is gacho, but it is what it is. La gente. Oh, say what you. Se parecía mexicano. They said he was Hispanic. They're looking for like a 27-year-old Hispanic. All you got is a side shot. A back shot, okay, the only footage they got of the dude is him closing a door, which is like a cabin door. He's closing a cabin door. Ahí está la pinche puerta. Boom, he closes the cabin door, and he goes down this walking trail that you can see about 3-4 steps of his backside. So se mira, like he would be in his 20s, the way they described it. And the guys know what I mean, right? The body with the metabolism. When the metabolism is fast on the body, estos cabrones, they could eat chicken nuggets, like Yaritza en su esencia. They could eat chicken nuggets every day, wake up eating and sleep eating it, and they'll still have a V shape and a six-pack. That's the youngsters, right? I remember when I started amateur boxing, gente, the elite division, all my amateur boxers know, and my amateur boxing coaches here in the comment section know what I'm going to say is pure facts, pure facts. The elite division is like 16 to 30 or 35, right? Man, I got tired. The first, and I only did it for 10 years, off and on. The last one was in 19, right? Or what was it? It was during COVID. Anyways, they linked his DNA to another case in Los Angeles. So they're not putting a name out there, but at least the DNAs are linked. So there's a theory that he did a home invasion in L.A., and now he went over to Maryland, the complete other side of the coast, and it could have been because he was running, maybe. That's just a theory. We don't know, right? All of this is allegedly, but all of this is what's getting reported. Everything is public record. How do you think I know it? I got to read it, research it, hear it somehow, right? Out in the city, orale, cell phones have all the records. Ain't no getting away with crimes anymore. Look what he said is the truth. You don't think what Out in the City said is the truth? They got it in they got us guys like AI, the gente that want their life easier, right? AI, we're giving them all our information. Sign me in quicker to this website. Sign me in quicker to this app. I want to pay faster. So save my bank info. The IRS, of course, they already have it. They have your bank info, so you can forget about the IRS. So if the IRS has it, they already have everything. So if you have a cell phone, ultimately, they can do it. There's laws, though, there's laws. They'll pass laws in order to overstep your privacy so they can get those records. I remember Obama signed one of them. It was like an Information Act, but this was in order to retrieve records without having to go through any kind of legal process. Whoever was the one running the department could pull your records. O sea, those are privacy laws that some of us blindly voted. Take them away from us. But anyways, I appreciate you, my boy. Switching. There was a news that broke today. It was his name is Paul Flores. He was convicted of killing a freshman. I don't know, some of you guys are going to remember this name. I think it was in 1995. I think it was 95. Cal Poly. She went to Cal Poly. Her name was Kristen Smart. Well, it came out in the news this week ese way in the Department of Corrections got rushed all of a sudden to the medical center because he was assaulted at Pleasant Valley. And her body, to this day, they didn't have a body with that case. But they had enough substantial evidence. Now, I don't know all of it that they had. But again, for those that think there's no evidence, like a menace to society when they went and they grabbed the tape and the VHS tape, is way past that now. It's way past that now. Just like Out in the City said, they got you. One way or another, they're going to get you. The dude was attacked in Pleasant Valley. Paul Flores, he tiene la cara de güero, but obviously tiene apellido mexicano. And he was also a student there. And so that crime, it stayed unsolved for a while. There was never no bodies. To this day, there isn't. But they ended up making an arrest. And this guy was on the short end of the stick and ended up getting what some people call justicia. Some people call it justicia. He ended up getting stomped out and rushed over to a medical center. I thought that was an interesting piece of news because I got daughters. And if I'm going to do anything out here is spread the word, watch yourself, men, to the men that have daughters. Teach your daughters, okay? Street IQ and self-defense. Órale, the double S. Teach your daughters the double S. Street IQ and self-defense. Because not with my daughters. See, because these kind of colleges and these parties out there, they'll go out there, right? And of course, they're there to what? To get a higher education. But it's just the facts of life. Young people are going to want to have fun. You want to stop that? Your resistance is futile because you remember when you were young, all you wanted to do was have fun. So it's going to happen. The inevitable is there's going to be parties. But some of these weirdos, yes, they're weirdos. Some of these weirdos will do some shit. And this is like the highest level. This is something of course, I never wish on anyone. This right here is really sick. But I'm talking about to a lesser degree, they'll still do some sick, weird shit out in those colleges. Those colleges aren't the safest of places. It's just reality, okay? That's what it is. It's like when you saw the movie Taken for the first time, and it's part 1 Taken. No one wanted that reality, right? Everyone is quick to buy tickets to the 3 girls that are traveling to follow their favorite rock band across Europe. And it sounds great, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of great photo ops along the way and all these great places of history and scenery and all that shit. But the cold reality of it is, it's not going to happen to my daughters because I teach my daughters the double S. Street IQ and self-defense. So my daughters, yes, they're very academic, right? The oldest one, UCLA bound. Oldest one, UCLA bound, right? But don't get into it with them because they'll never be the ones that strike first. But trust me, when it comes to them, the hands get thrown right away. The other girls get overwhelmed and they don't know why. It's self-defense at that point. So that he got his. I don't know. I'll leave that up to the people's court. You guys can comment below. Let me get in some comments real quick, though. Orale, just chillin' 05. That's right. That's a day oneer right there. Everlasting base. Orale de 1 hour and hitting GP. Now, I haven't heard too much about Pleasant Valley. So, that's not one of those ones that don't go there. Remember when that pendejo, some people's favorite YouTuber who lives in Oregon, someone asked me, right? It was a couple days ago. Someone asked me, when did you realize that que esto y esto, that he was this and that? And I said, it made me think, and I'm like, oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. And my answer, and I told myself, and I commented. I didn't just hold it to myself. I commented. I said, oh, well, when the facilities transfer list came out, and that got dropped. Now, of course, I understand there's situations where you'll be heading somewhere that's out of your control, that you're in your ward or your custody of, so it's not even your choice anyways, right? And there's instances like that where they touch and then they go. But most of the time, maybe not. Maybe they decided to lay over. And then you look at the dates. I said, so when the transfer facility list dropped, that's how I knew. That's how I knew it was all bad. All right. Let's talk about Rudy Hit the like, hit that subscribe. Man, is it already coming up on 7:30? Chingado. OG, Triple OG is in the casa who runs the YouTube Yarda. That's right. Don't forget to hit on that avatar right there and subscribe over to that canal right there. Go ahead and get that and subscribe to that channel and then the backup channel as well. I thought I saw something. You dropped something, right? You dropped something, right, cabron? Was it about that one? I think it was about that one, huh? Nah, that dude, I think, was it about that one? Oh, yeah, he's like a leper, huh? That's one of the ones that I was talking about the other day. He's like a YouTube leper. And you mention him. Puro pedo, ¿verdad? Green Eyes is in the casa. I appreciate you. Good evening, everyone. Tapping in to show some love. Saludos from the 714 Orange County. We appreciate you, amiga. Bless you. Have a blessed weekend. It's supposed to be a little heat wave. If you're over there, if you're over here, it's going to be perfect weather. You been feeling it? It's like 70 over here, huh? Right in the middle. That's where it peaks. I appreciate you, amiga. OG, Triple OG. Homie Hangout. Yeah, but I heard he went from... I wanted Homie Hangout to clarify that because, of course, I'd heard, and shout out to Paradigm Media News, the story. Those are great stories he's coming out with. So all of the shoe kickouts are going to 3 and 4s, right? That's automatically. And this integration that people are talking about that did happen and is occurring is only on 1s and 2s, right? I keep mixing those two things up, and I said, wait a second. I said, they had to have put the shoe kickouts on 3 and 4 because obviously there's a lot of safety concerns there, and they had to really think that out before that happened, right? Is that how that is? Because I'm almost certain that the shoe kickouts didn't go with the integration. But I could be wrong. I don't know. Not really following it too much. Rudy Giuliani, along with 17 other people, gets indicted and takes his mugshot photo, and they want to hit Rudy Giuliani with RICO acts, something that he authored and founded or was a proponent of or pushed it. I just know that he was well known for the RICO charges that he put on the commission. If you don't know what the commission is, yes, I'm from that generation. I actually think they took a lot of those pinche Italiano principles, morals, and values and standards and translating them in some of these groups because that was a great model. It was I also want to say there was a relation to how family-oriented Italianos are. They're really family-oriented. I want to say the pillars of the channel Italiano stand on those 100%. Dios, familia, y cultura. Anyways, Rudy Giuliani, he gets indicted. He gets his mugshot taken. What does this mean to the people? Because the people want to know, what are these indictments? How can you get hit with multiple indictments and not see a single day behind a jail door? How? How is that possible, gente? This is what it is. You're talking on the very highest level of law enforcement, let's just say law and order. On the very highest level of law and order, chess getting played. Chess getting played. To us, some of us that just, grew up in the calles, grew up on the streets, the highest level we ever saw, or maybe not saw, or next to, or a part of, was maybe getting un pinche abogado que costaba like a down payment on a house, and we thought, okay, we're good now, we're good. There's higher levels than that. There's departments, there's state, and then now there's federal. So Rudy Giuliani, part of the commission, putting the commission away. I'll tell you what, that Paul Castellano thing, that's some crazy stuff. And that's always happens from one generation to the next. It seems like it's one generation trying to outprove the next generation and saying they're older heads. They've been calling them older heads probably since the 20s, 30s, and 40s, 50s, and 60s. There's always the next generation that knows it. So what I try to tell the youngsters is listen, youngsters. If you don't want to listen, that's fine. But hindsight's better than foresight. I'll see you 20 years down the line, and let's see how it worked out. Anyways, so he takes it. So what does that mean? They won't spend a single day behind bars. Not one day. Why? Because it's chess. They're going to be in proxy. Lawyers are going to be doing stuff in proxy. When the last indictment went down on the former president, right, number 40, was it 45? Okay, the last one. When the indictment went down, he did a press conference about Atlanta before it happened, gente. This is what I want you to see. Just so you know what's happening. Not about red and blue and Crips and Bloods and what side of the aisle you bang. You know what I bang? I bang the people. That's what I bang. I bang the people. So don't get me twisted, because I don't know that, right? I didn't go to colleges, or I didn't get groomed, or had a mentor or anything like that. I just had a phone and a laptop, and what I saw was what I saw, right? He did a press conference that Atlanta, he said there's rumors of the Atlanta main district attorney or secretary attorney or whatever you call the high level of the highest office. Raskizi's in the casa, he probably knows. What's the highest office for law enforcement? The DA? Is it a state DA? Probably a state DA, right? He said there's rumors that the gang she was prosecuting, she actually had an affair. She actually had an affair with not just anyone in that gang, the leader in the gang. And then the next day, boom, indictment hit. Again, the indictments are all power plays. Nowadays, that's crazy. Because me and you, we're in the neighborhood and they want to strike us out. They want to strike us out. I remember when Pete Wilson enacted that. It was a Pete Wilson and under Clinton. And all of a sudden, gente are gone. And this time it wasn't no un año, dos años. And this was for stealing pizza and stealing bubble gum. And they're getting struck out left and right. Homie Hangout says, that's the answer I was looking for. Most shoe kickouts been out since before integration. Oh, that happened in 12, huh? Or 11. And this happened in 15. So there's a timeline, right? And I could be wrong. I could be off. But yes, they went to level 4. Yeah, they went to... Yeah, I never was on a 180. I was on the 270B on that same facility. And I was asking, not of course not saying anything, but in my head I was like, why am I 18? And they want to give me like 36 puntos. But, I mean, I don't know. I figured, I was like, oh yeah, they're going to, give me, like they do in the, if you didn't know, I got put on, okay, as a juvenile. I got put on the juvenile court system. A lot of you know that's where my background. You see the glory, but you don't know the story, right? And I got put on actually and they downplayed it. The charge, the last, I guess how it ended was discharging a firearm into an inhabited dwelling. So the background wasn't getting better. So then I could think, okay, that's why. But actually, I pulled up to the castle in the front. And when I pulled up to the castle in the front, I'm like, oh, I'm here, right? No, they just took off one cabron. And there was only 2 of us. And I had to almost be there a long time in the 559. It's hot over there. That wasn't my weather. But shout out to everyone that I met from Poros. I didn't even know. Shout out to everyone that I met over there in Poros. And from Tulare, all Kings County, all the gente, man. Some firme gente that I met out there from Galt. I didn't even know that was a little city, Galt, all that. All right, this fool. All right, that's what's up. He says, porfa, subscribe. She said, I'm subscribed already. All right. Texas Prison Story says triple OG. That's right. He's just checking in. He's doing what he got to do. He's checking in. All right. That's right. I see you, Tim. All right. Anyway, we'll get into just real quick some NFL news, okay? Some just real quick NFL news. San Francisco 49ers. And I know some of the comments that you guys come in there, Mikey, but you're a Niner fan and all that. Gente, don't get it twisted. Yes, I have my teams. Yes. But don't get it twisted. I'm going to say this very clearly, okay? Yes, I'm a San Francisco 49er fan. But I'm a bigger fan of the sport itself. I could talk all day long. Gente, I don't even listen to music in my car. All I listen to is sports radio. So that's giving you some insight on Chicano Tube, on your boy Mike, on how I do. I'm a sports junkie. I just don't talk a lot about it. Here we talk YouTube news, trending news, chisme, what's going on around the world. Also serious stuff, dab into a little bit of politics, whatever. But we'll talk about some NFL news that happened today, because this hasn't happened in a while. The San Francisco 49ers have not had a good relationship in years with the Dallas Cowboys. That the San Francisco 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys front office can pick up the phone and say, you know what, let's negotiate for this QB3, who you designated QB3, which a lot of gente don't know, gente. when he got Trey Lance, I'm talking about Trey Lance. When he got designated QB3 for San Francisco, that means he wasn't going to be named the starter, QB1. These are designations. They have to go through all of these protocols every single year. And the people like me that are sports junkies love it because we love every single piece of news about this shit, right? There has to be QB1, 2, and 3. When he got designated QB3, immediately he wanted to go. He requested it. Now it came out. Why? Because I follow Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, whatever. You can call me the insider if you want, cabrón. But a lot of people said, "Wait, oh no, I'll post clips of the Cali teams just to keep it real, because that's the teams that everyone likes in California. So we'll go Niners and Cowboys, and even though they're not California no more, I got too many Raider partners that I grew up with. You know what I mean? Banging NWA, Eazy-E. Raidered out. I got too many partners, right? We're all split 50-50 right here in Salinas. We're split Raiders and Niners. There were some Cowboys. There were some real ones that were Cowboy fans too. That it was back in the day, it was the energy, right? When we walked in the room, the charisma, the energy, you just knew. Stay in your place. Don't even ask about that Cowboys jersey. Chingado. Don't ask about that Cowboys jersey. Sounded like Freddy Krueger. That's right. Cheeks is in the casa. I appreciate you, amiga. She's giving a thumbs up. She's good. I appreciate you. It's Friday night, amiga. You know what we do on Chicano too. We talked about a little bit. You go back and catch the replay because we're talking about a lot of things that happen actually out there in the news. Some things that happen on YouTube as well. Right? A little bit of cheese, man. We mix in a little bit of cheese, man, on the YouTube side. And politics, a little bit of politics. Now I was just talking about Trey Lance and the San Francisco 49ers. Gente, think about it like this with Trey Lance. His first 2 years are supposed to be some of the most developmental years for the chavalo. But what happened? The first year, he breaks his finger. The whole year is gone. No development. We had Jimmy G. Which a lot of the ladies like Jimmy G. All the ladies, all of a sudden I said Jimmy G. They're going to start commenting hearts down there. Jimmy G, he's one of those guys that looks like he'll be on the side of Macy's, a la chingada, right behind the glass windows, right? So, hey, all the ladies like Jimmy G, right? He was supposed to be Jimmy G, who is already, no se agüiten, of age, all right? He's up in age, and he's injury prone. It's probably because he's up in age. Those two things correlate. He's injury prone, he's up in age. He was supposed to be the mentee to the mentor, Jimmy G. And, of course, Jimmy G was going to start and be the veterano on the team, right? But then Lance gets injured again, and he breaks his ankle now. And what happens out of that? What looks to be to the San Francisco 49ers as a franchise quarterback in the making. A franchise quarterback in the making who just emerges, puts up crazy numbers, does a playoff run for the ages, for the record books, as being, gente, hear me when I say this. What draft pick number do you think he was out of 7 rounds? I will let you know now. There is only 7 rounds in the draft coming out of college, and I'm talking football, to professional football. There's 7 rounds, and there's only 246, I believe. I could be off by 246 picks available in all 7 rounds. And in the 7th round, this guy, Purdy, was picked. How many did I say there was? There was 246 in every round. So the last pick of the whole damn thing is round 7. Pick 246. That was this Gavacho, Brock Purdy. He produced numbers. He's the franchise quarterback they've been looking for. It's been right under the noses. Now, give credit where credit is due and give shame where shame is due. Shame is that I was never on board with them drafting Trey Lance. Never. Because we had Justin Fields, who at least has been healthy to pick from. And this is QBs. I'm talking QBs. They had Zach Wilson, that I'm glad they didn't pick. I am actually glad they didn't pick that pinchy Zach Wilson, okay? And this is the one I wanted them to pick, was Alabama, which is one of the highest programs in college football. And we're going to get off of it right now. I know the gente don't want to talk about football too much. We'll talk about a little bit more controversy coming up. I got some good shit. Hang tight right there, gente. Hit that like. I wanted them to pick Mac Jones. They didn't pick Mac Jones. Mac Jones picked up 8 wins his first year with the Patriots. He would have been a great pick. Trey Lance is done. The last time that the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers have done this kind of deal was back in 1992, and it involved a monster named Charles Haley. Charles Haley ended up going to Dallas and shut down San Francisco 2 years in a row. He shut down San Francisco 2 years in a row. San Francisco was able to get him back just on a 1-year deal. Oh, no, I'm sorry. 1-game deal. And it was a playoff game because remember that. They get big. You can get a 1-day contract to play for a football team. That's, I mean, how many zeros, right? You want 9 zeros, 8 zeros, 7 zeros, right? We're talking in that range, right? 7 zeros and up. Let's just say 7 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 zeros and up. That means there's 7 digits in the number, basically. It's not a 6-digit number. It's a 7-digit. That's the last time the Cowboys and the 49ers did something like that. I hope it doesn't come. Let's wrap this up. I hope it doesn't, at least this topic. I hope it doesn't come back to bite them in the ass. But the analytics don't lie, gente. The scouts, them looking, they've seen this youngster shine. We got Sam Darnold now as QB2. We got Brandon Allen as 3. And now the Dallas Cowboys have QB1 Dak Prescott, and I'll end it right here, at least on football. QB2 Cooper Rush. QB3 is either going to be Trey Lance or the other dude. I think his name is Williams or Williamson or Will or something like that. But anyways, let's keep it moving now. Homie Hanger said Charles Haley was a monster, man. I actually think, I don't know what happened to the genetics nowadays, cabrón. It seemed like one of the youngsters, like from when I remember the youngsters like from the 90s, like one of those youngsters I think could take on like 3. And I'm not knocking the youngster. They could take on like 3 youngsters because it's like size-wise. They were all football players. You know what I mean? So that when you seen a squabble back in the day, it was a good one. Because it was like boom, bap, boom, boom, bap, boom, bap. All right. Anyways, Orale Everlasting Base, I send mines. That's right. Shark City 408, Big OG, Triple OG is in the casa. Y'all better check in. You better check in and see if that pass gets given or if that pass gets revoked. I'm just telling y'all. What else was in the news? That's right. Something else that hasn't been talked about a lot in the news, gente. And I'm here to give information to the people. Again, it's not, I'm not trying to stir anything up or anything because, like when they call that shooting that happened in Orange County, when they called it mass shooting, I said, wait a second, you got to watch out, gente, with the way they title shit, and it sounds like fear-mongering. Fear-mongering is something that's real, gente. They'll control us just by keeping us scared. Let me say that one more time. We can be controlled if we just submit or succumb to fear. So when they call a tiroteo at a bar with, yes, there was live shot. When they call it a mass shooting, that's fear. I don't think it was on that degree, on that scale, but the way they categorize that, of course, I don't do. They do. They got that written in their books. But anyways, hundreds, if you haven't heard this already, because some people have been hitting me up on IG and have been telling me, Mike, they're not writing any more home policies. I got sent letters, my carrier. They're going out of state, gente. A lot of companies are leaving. And I'm not trying to put gloom over anyone, but this is reality. There's hundreds of stores being closed down right now in California that no one is talking about. Hundreds of Targets, Walmarts, Marshalls are getting closed right now as we speak. Oh, but you don't hear about it on the news. Well, that's odd. I thought the news told us the truth. I thought the news was supposed to give us nothing but the truth, so help us God. A lot of the news is agenda. There's hundreds and hundreds of stores, and a lot of people are anticipating because we have an election year coming up. That they're going to close the doors again. Yes, I said again. They did it once. They could do it a second time. You don't think so? A lot of people are anticipating here in California, and I'm here to tell you, if they made that move once, they can run that back. They could run that back. What I hated the most out of that was the way it affected the people. Obviously, the people started getting depressed. Mental illness became more rampant. More families were even separated and torn and divided. And of course, they couldn't just, a lot of people were anticipating after they closed it. And I remember when they did, it was like a March 17th and it was 2020. A lot of people were anticipating it's a 45-day. They were putting that out on the news. They were stringing us along. 45. The media outlets, the TV, the newspapers, if they're still newspapers. Yeah, they're still newspapers. We're putting out timelines, 45 days only. Oh, well, it's a 60-day now. Well, it's actually a 180-day review, so we'll pick this back up because these are numbers. And what I had said before was I have friends, again, in brass, in the medical industry. I'm not going to say anything more specific. That's as specific as I'll get. In the medical industry, that started telling me, Mike, you know what was a trip? I started seeing film crews pulling up, and they told me we thought it was, something we were going to be filled in on. That means because we're brass, we know everyone that comes in, every case. They have everything. Everything is recorded. Everything is documented. They said this was something we were not told of. The only thing that happened was they passed out waivers to everybody at the hospital that they had to sign off on these papers that they couldn't say a thing. You couldn't say a thing. They did this the month before they closed it, not the month of. They did this in February in anticipation. And what else happened right before? Zoom stocks gets invested a jillion %. Zoom stocks gets invested. Uber gets invested in. All of these things get invested. Hundreds of stores. Is there something imminent coming? Be prepared. That's all I'm saying is be prepared. And if you're really sick and tired of it, then you'll get the pendejos out of office who are doing these plans. Let's just call them that. Si se puede said, wow, it's happening. There are hundreds and hundreds of stores, and it's not getting reported. These are the major stores. But guess what's getting invested in? Amazon. Oh, no, we can't stop Amazon, right? Friends help friends. Let's just say that. Friends help friends. The only way to change that is from the inside. It's from the inside. Let's try to do something on the inside. Miss Chicano Two-Seed said, the mainstream media is mostly propaganda and lies. It's all fear-based, brainwash people, do what the dictators want. That makes me ask this question. Will you do anything they say to do? They started coming door to door and telling you, esta pinche jeringa, te tienen que picar todos en la familia. Would you do it? And they take zero liability in this. I'm not going to talk on the medical industry too much longer. Huh? It irritates some people, right? Maybe you're on the other side of the coin. Maybe you're like, medicine is the answer. Maybe you're like, pharmaceutical is the answer in science. And hey, I respect it. Call me up. We can have that conversation. 831-205-1735, even though it's coming up on 8 o'clock. Is it happening sporadically or is it planned out, gente? That's all I'm saying. We're in California. This is some real shit. When more than the two major insurance carriers, when they leave the whole freaking state. And I know because realtors have to have fire insurance. That's just part of the deal before it closes escrow. It's one more box that needs to be checked is you're going to have to obtain fire insurance. And when you start seeing normal fire insurance rate that used to be under 1,000 start to get gouged and tripled, just know the insurance companies, that's what they do. And who can say the contrary? You can't. So when your choices for insurance companies start to limit, see it increasing on your end, out of your wallet or your purse for your familia. That's why I say these things, because we should never be conformed to, oh, we're just paying 30% taxes every single year. And we get used to 30% taxes. That's crazy. That's crazy. Feed me tube. That's right. Run my numbers up, Mikey. I make shorts. Orale, that's right. Well, I like the handle, cabron. I like that. You just reminded me. I'm gonna drop another Chicano word of the day. This food. That's right. Chalucas. Is that another word? Chalucas. I never heard that one way. And I grew up in the barrio way, where I wore nothing but murals all over the place. If you go, I compare East Salinas to East LA. Very rich in culture. Every wall that's open or every underpass or a bridge or open wall has a mural on there. And that reminds me of East LA. What I do remember is when I went to LA, Whittier, I remember going down Whittier, and Whittier goes into Pico Rivera, and then it goes into another city. And the beautiful, smoking, sexy hot wife had a friend, I think, in Hacienda. And that was at the end of that. And if I just went all the way back, I'd go to Whittier. I was on Whittier smacking some food. That was the first time I ate a huarache. I was over there on Whittier. Man, that food was fire, man. This was not too long ago. I'm going back, you guys. I'm going to head back to Mex. So when I come back, I don't think I'm going to... The Sunday night show is up in the air because I got to get to Mexico. Me está esperando México lindo. Y me regresan si muero de lejos de ti. Órale. OG Triple OG says, Mikey, talk about the Bilderberger. Chingado, man. Do people really think, cabron, that way Epstein, that he took his own life? Was it really a coincidence? The cameras turned off all of a sudden. All the cameras are turned off, and El Way took himself out. Are we to believe that? I'll tell you what that's a government hit. They'll hit you, and already before they hit you, they already have the report. Before they hit you, they have the report, they have the press release, all of that ready to go. They can make you out to be a hero, a martyr, or whatever. The gente are going to know the truth. No somos pendejos. But anyways, ese way, how come we haven't heard anything? How come we haven't heard anything from the girlfriend that was writing these lists on these flight logs and these rides from all these A-list major celebrities? That it makes me sick to my stomach. This will be the last because we're going to wrap it up right now. I could go on hours and hours. It's going to be 8 o'clock. There was islands. There was complete islands de niños. And some of yours and mine, former on mine, favorite A-list celebrities were visiting these islands. If I mentioned some of the names, you wouldn't believe it. You'd be like, yeah, right. You wouldn't believe it. But remember this. All you know from these people is what gets put out. All you really know, no one knows these people except God, who created them, and their families. Obviously, that's the closest people to them. You can never be 100 on someone just because it's your favorite talk show host. Yes, Your favorite talk show host. What happened to the girlfriend? How come we haven't gotten anything out of her? Or are you going to tell me I'm so far gone, I'm so far conspiracy theoried up that didn't happen? Did not the girlfriend get arrested? Did not the girlfriend get arrested? She didn't have an accident. She has all the information to bury the fucking majority of the people that make this world go around. Yes, I said it. Money talks. And bullshit comes second, third, or last. Or has no say-so. Chicago Dumb is in the casa. That's right. G. Sierra, one of the original Chicano Tube ladies. I see you. I appreciate you, amiga. I'm wrapping up. It's 8 o'clock. And Chicago Dumb says, stop it. 831-205-1735. We might end up going on Chicago Dumb, a late night one. So over there, we'll be sipping. Over here on Chicano Tube, we keep it professional. That's how we're going to keep it. It's not the DJ booth, cabrones. Here, I want to be sharp. I want to have my thoughts. But on Chicago Dumb's channel, I need you to subscribe over to Chicago Dumb. We'll do a late night live where we jump on some windows, talk some shit, and take it from there. And so be looking out for that. But you got to be subscribed over there. That fool probably still alive. We can't believe shit anymore. Exactly. Good. See? This fool gets it. Question everything, cabron. Question everything, man. I'm questioning everything now. I've seen some shit. I'm not putting out there, but I know that behind the scenes, power talks. It reminded me like one time when I paid an attorney on a case, and the district attorney, the 13 years and all kinds of years she was yelling at me, right? Or wanting to get me. And I'm like, damn. And I'm feeling like they couldn't sentence me. I went to sentencing 3 times. I finally got sentenced the 3rd time. All of a sudden, my lawyer walks in with the district attorney. They're laughing and giggling. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And sure enough, I knew I got a deal. I'm telling you, power moves just happen behind the scenes. I just know it is. But nowadays, don't believe anything on this pinche teléfono. It's for shits and giggles, gente. I hope you go over there. I hope you're reaching out with your loved ones, posting photos, because it's beautiful. Post photos. That way every year it comes up a memory. There's a lot of beauty in this. But that dark shit, that shit that we need to watch out for, you're going to tune in to Chicano Tube, and I'm going to be putting you up on game. Orale West Carson TV, he says, I agree. I send mine right back to you, my boy. Amazon stock's going to go up because, again, if they want you to vote by mail, 2 elections in a row, unprecedented, and it'll be a really good reason, right? It'll be the Black Plague. They'll get meat trucks, like they did in New York, meat trucks, and they'll put the pinchy camera on the meat truck, and it's probably, they probably put a bunch of cow parts in there, and they're throwing the bodies in the meat trucks. Don't step out of your house. And they're showing meat trucks. Again, when a very close friend of mine said this paper was signed in February that we couldn't do any interviews pertaining to the job or on the job site here on out, accept this or get fired. When they signed those paperwork, all of a sudden March happened. All of a sudden camera crews are starting to record these segments. The people seeing it on the ground level. If you're still in the barrio, you're still tapped in, you're going to see it. You're going to see it, right? Because that's where they think they can pull the okie doke, is on a lot of the minorities. Unfortunately, the ones that really don't speak up. We just go through, a lot of the raza just goes through the motion. Well, not here. On Chicano Tube, the raza has backbone. And the raza teaches their kids identity. And we know what it is. Dios, familia y cultura. That's right. G. Sierra says, Miss Chicano Tube, OG, triple OG, hit that like button. Guys, I'm wrapping up. It's past 8 o'clock. I'm going to tap back in with the family. There was just always so much to talk about. Go back to the beginning of the video. If you're listening live right now or listening on the replay, I appreciate you. Hit the like, comment below. We talked about a lot of things. Again, I wanted to give a shout out to Rascal from the Homie Hangout. Don't forget to subscribe over to the Homie Hangout. And then the second channel, Rascal Reacts. But you'll find that by subscribing over to the Homie Hangout. We had a great conversation. I'm telling you, fucking Rascal's sarcasm level is like level 10,000. I had to keep it to myself. I could have been cracking up the whole pinchy interview, but we talked about some good things, but we barely scratched the surface. Man, we could have went another 2-3 hours. I had some footnotes I wanted to cover. We didn't get to it, but it's because I respect his time. The Orange County shooting, And we talked about the guy that got beat down in Pleasant Valley. He was the one that kidnapped the young girl, Kristen Smart. He ended up this week in the hospital. They gave him life for that murder, but they never had the body. They never got the girl's body. She went to Cal Poly over here in San Luis Obispo, went to a party, and then was never seen again with this POS. A little bit of NFL news, and of course they indicted Giuliani, and then other things. So anyways, I appreciate you guys. I'm going to tap back in with the familia. Gracias, you guys. Remember what I always say, Dios, familia y cultura. Have a great weekend. I'm taking off to Mexico this weekend, so I'll just post something from Mexico. Maybe I'll upload a video from Mexico, you guys. And I don't think I'm going to make it in time for the Sunday night show, but maybe I might get a little, maybe you guys get a little taste of Mexico, si quieren, this weekend. That's right, Si Se Puede podcast, September 4th, Si Se Puede. I'll be married 19 years. That's right, my boy. That's right. And then the wifey says, FJB, look at her. That's real, bro. Tell them. I'm just going to speak straight from the heart, and they take it or they don't. It just is what it is, man. I want the gente to level up, especially when I go to the juvenile hall and I talk to the youngsters. The youngsters can appreciate the game. I'll tell you that. There's still a lot of youngsters that have a lot of respect. There's still youngsters that are cut from that cloth, gente. They're still cut. They open their ear a little bit. You know what I mean? They're still cut from that cloth. Tierra Caliente's in the casa. Last shouts out, you guys. OG Triple OG hit the nail on the head. Si Dios nada es posible, man. Blast that on the chest, huh? That should be a big old fucking eye buster across the yarda right there. Sin Dios nada se puede. That's right, man. Si se puede, amen. Miss Chicano, she's going into politics right there. Oh, man. 831-205-1735. Yeah. And I'm already at the end of it. Tim Sanchez. Oh, that's right. That's what's up. Ron Garcia says Tim Sanchez for Congress in 2024. Well, then go ahead and push it. Also, Tony Virueta, he's running for Congress, and he's out of the district over here in Monterey County. And I know mi amiga Karina Powers was pushing for Tony Virueta. And he's another Chicano. And shit, when they show up, ex-Marines kicking ass, Chicanos, saben español, they grew up in the barrio. And then you get that sense they're for the people. I'm voting for them. Órale. That's right. Dios, familia, cultura. I'm out, you guys. Remember what I always say? I'll tap in from Mexico, si Dios permite. What I'll try to do is maybe from that big flagpole, that one that has a big old bandera mexicana, that huge bandera mexicana. I got to do a little live right in front of that, huh? That way you guys know, oh, he's in Mex. That's right. Y allá hablamos español, cabrones. Ok. Les dije que el pinche YouTube channel de Haters World salió ese cabrón Spike. Y dice, pues no tienen que hablar español porque estamos acá en los Estados Unidos. Y yo entiendo, pero ese güey habla español. Ese way sí habla español, so he has good Spanish, So let's not be the generation that's the reason that the language was lost. And puros chicken nuggets. Órale, I appreciate you guys. Remember what I always say. Have a great